even Dune. I'm looking at Dune now. I watched Dune. I'm like,
You watched it?
Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
I didn't care for it.
Really?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing about Dune is it looks good and it sounds good.
Yeah.
I think that's what people like about it, but there really isn't anything else to it. And it's also, I didn't read the book and I didn't know, and none of it made fucking sense. And I can't, if you went, like, I just don't understand people who go in that movie who also didn't read the book. And I know you didn't get it. Or, like, I know you it's like,
okay.
Not even that it's like
I
super.
feel like I got it.
Did you see it too?
Yeah.
Oh, what did you think?
I liked it a lot.
Really?
My main takeaway was it sounds and looks so sick.
Yes.
Like, it honestly, like, very seldom does that happen to me, but I was just like, bro, this looks so tight.
Did you like Blade Runner?
The new one? No.
Really?
I didn't like the new one.
It looks just as good.
But I thought the new Blade Runner was kind of boring.
Oh, Dune was fucking boring.
No.
I thought Dune was way more entertaining than.
Well, and also I want to correct myself.
There's so much cool little shit in fucking Dune, dude.
Relax,
there's so many cool things.
We can, I love
There's a lot
this.
of cool things.
Yeah. All right. You know what? This is perfect.
Yeah,
All right.
there's a tiny.
Dune sucks is gonna be the thumbnail.
Yeah, no, Dune does not suck, dude. You suck.
All right, this
Suck
is good.
my Dune.
I do want to correct myself that it's not that none of it made sense to me, but
You're just jealous.
Shut the fuck up.
You're so jealous.
It opens.
Sorry, go ahead.
It opens with and I'm just like, oh, clearly there's like so much lore shit that I should have done homework about. And I'm like,
what? How does it open?
Well, it's just with all there's like big exposition at the beginning. I'm like, okay, it's this type of thing. Fuck,
Yeah.
I can't even follow what's happening here. It's like, well, I know the general shit about what's happening, but
Yeah.
I wasn't invested in any of it.
It's still kind of like dances
I hate
with
that.
wolves.
I hate that you don't you disagree with me so much because I'm gonna look like the asshole.
No,
all
no.
the comments are gonna be about
Dude
how
rules.
yeah, dude. Well, no, they're gonna insult me personally. They're gonna be like this lesbian on the fucking on the left doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Read a book.
I was gonna say you're jealous of Timothy Chalamet. You just look at Timothy Chalamet and you go, "Oh, I wish I could be him."
All right, I will.
Fish
I
fear him.
understand.
Ladies want to be him.
Understand why you
Whatever.
liked it. Here's my main problem, and tell me if you can see what I'm talking about. Is it felt like the first episode of a TV show, and I don't think in a good way. I think the only real interesting thing happens like 10 minutes left. And everything else is set up, and I don't even think you need setup. I think if you're going to make a movie, you just make it, consolidate it into a movie. You don't have to put every single thing from the book, and it doesn't even work.
I'm like, but what about Lord of the Rings?
I mean, Lord of the Rings, the fellow. All right, me and Spencer were talking a lot about it. I almost wish Spencer was in the podcast.
Spencer
he did read the book, and he's like, I don't understand any of the decisions they made.
Oh, okay, he read the book.
Well, he said it's maybe like a half of the book, but he's like, it felt like the first like 1/3 of the book.
Yeah, there's gonna be 3 movies.
Well, but I mean, like to me, what I would have wanted and what Spencer said is the most interesting stuff in the book is he meets Zendaya. And he learns all about this culture, and like that's the cool stuff. Is he's learning about the culture, and him and Zendaya are falling. It reminds me of fucking Jon Snow, going with the wildlings, fall in love, and that's a movie. That's a story. It's like that's what I was waiting for the whole time, and then it kind of gets there, and I'm like, okay, something's happening.
Yeah,
with
but
a character, there's like stakes.
I guess I don't know. Generally, I don't like get sucked into sci-fi lore, but there's something so cool I think about Dune.
I want to read the book. It
It
really
made me want to read the book.
Yeah.
Because, I watched like a couple videos about the lore. Just through like
Before
TikTok.
you
This guy
watched
had
it?
like a bunch of videos. No, after.
Mm-hmm.
But they were talking about how like I almost wish they would explain this, but I guess it's in other Dune books, but I don't fucking know. But the point is like it's really, they say it's the year 10,000, right? Yeah. It's really the year 20,000.
And they use fucking swords. Oh,
right, because they banned computers.
Oh.
Because they found computers to be like this horrible oppressive force. Oh. So there's no computers in Dune.
Wait, wasn't it written like the 60s?
It was written in like the mid 60s. They ban all thinking machines. That's what they call them, thinking machines.
Wow.
And so then they have like super smart guys, which they don't really explain at all either. It's like, remember the kind of fat guy with like the blue lip? Mm-hmm. He's like a genius. He's like the smartest creature in the fucking universe.
Yeah.
He like closes his eyes and he's like can calculate 1 billion times 300 or whatever,
Yeah.
So there's like all kinds of cool shit like that. All the helicopters are all like, it's all like mechanical. It's just crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also like weird.
No, the helicopters look cool. I mean, the visuals and the sound.
There's all like weird
great.
like spiritual shit with like the Fremen and with like all these references to like Islam and shit.
Well,
it's
that's
the
other thing. That is, you get into the, apparently, again, I haven't read it. This is the conversation I had with Spencer, but his whole thing was when he was a kid reading it.
Yeah.
It was all about Islam.
Yeah.
And he was saying that's the cool stuff is when he's learning all about this culture. And in the movie, they like approach it. There's one line that I really like. and I wish there was like more shit that, because he was like, yeah, there really wasn't, all the themes in the book are not in the movie.
Okay.
It's like there was really no themes he could find in the movie as far as like the cool stuff in the book.
Yeah.
Where it's like, what was it? Life is not a something. It's something you experience. Like that line in the movie was really cool. But yeah.
Yes, I remember
all
that.
the stuff that, and also apparently Paul in the book is like the way in. He doesn't know anything. He's asking a bunch of questions in the book, and he's like learning stuff, and that's how the exposition happens. In the movie, I just wanted Paul to be like, "Ooh, what's this? Ooh, this is cool. What's that? What's that?" And apparently, that's what he would do with the fucking.
What's weird about the movie too, and I don't think that the Lynch movie does this, but Paul kind of like knows he's the chosen one. He just kind of like knows, and he kind of walks around like, I'm the chosen one. I'm kind of like the chosen one. I feel like that didn't happen in. I don't know.
I think maybe. I mean, yeah. Clearly, they
he had the dreams and stuff or whatever. Or I don't know.
Yeah, they were like, from what Spencer was saying, that sounds really interesting to me. And apparently, a lot of people misinterpret this. I don't even know if Spencer's interpretation is right, but it's like a very much a commentary on the Messiah idea.
Yeah,
you know, like because he's very
clearly
much
the Messiah.
Jesus. Yeah, like a Jesus thing. But the book is apparently a critique of the idea of even having a Messiah. Because later on, Paul just becomes this great Messiah leader and just fucks everything up. And
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I don't. That's
probably in the later books.
Yeah, well, the later books.
Because I'm pretty sure the Dune ends with it being like, Paul rules.
Yeah, and then there's a miniseries, right?
No.
There's a Sci-Fi Channel miniseries.
Really?
Yeah, well,
is it better?
It adapts like most of the series, I think. Apparently, it's really good. It won a bunch of Emmys. It's like the one sci-fi thing.
Interesting.
But Paul has a bunch of kids, and it ends up being about Paul's kids. And James McAvoy, a young James McAvoy, was
one
Paul's
son.
Kids. Yeah,
I should read the book. That's like my conclusion. I
kind of want to, but it does. I'm not huge into sci-fi, but all this shit sounds interesting to me. I might just look up lore. But But yeah, I think if you're gonna make a movie, it's like, again, Star Wars pulled from Dune. But the thing about Star Wars is you know who the good guys are, and you know exactly the bad guys are. Even if you don't meet the Emperor in the first movie, but you got Darth Vader, and and I guess Dave Bautista was supposed to be like the Darth Vader guy, but all of it was just like
Bautista's character was like whatever. I didn't give a shit about Dave.
I didn't give a shit about really anything. I mean, like it was like until the very end, it was like the last fight between Paul and the other guy, and I'm like, this is something.
I was gonna cite that. I was like, wasn't that part cool? And I realized that is at the very end.
Yeah. No, that part was sick. And then I'm like, all right. My idea is the movie feels like it starts when the shit goes down. That's the inciting incident.
Right.
Is the shit goes down at the Capitol. Take like 20 minutes to set that up. Take 20 minutes with his dad and all that, the political stuff, set up everything you need to set up. Have shit go down, and the movie is him traveling with his mother, meeting the people, and And Spencer told me about this fucking scene at the end of part 1, because there's 2 parts in the book. Yeah. And part 1 of the book ends at a very good time to end a movie, apparently. Yeah. Where it's like, and I'm pretty sure, because Paul's mom is pregnant, that Spencer was describing this thing where they have this psychedelic. I'm pretty sure spice is like some form of psychedelic, where she takes the psychedelic and nobody knows she's pregnant. Yeah. And the baby in her stomach, it affects the baby, and it like wakes up and it like becomes a person inside her womb. Yeah. And then like later, like the baby, like his sister, his sister will like fucking, he's like, I remember being in the womb or whatever. Yeah, no, there's some trippy shit with like the baby that takes spice. She's like a little fucking genius. She comes, it's crazy. You know about what happens in the book? Well, because I've seen the Lynch movie. Oh, really? Yeah. I haven't. Is it any good? No, it's not good. Oh. I mean, I loved it. I loved it as a kid. Me and my dad would like bond. Dude, because there's just, maybe it's nostalgia for me, because I remember as a kid loving Dune with the Lynch Dune with my dad. Yeah. And being like, dude, there's like, what's it, like the Weirding Way or something like that it's called, or Weirding Way or something, where that's just like, the fucking basically like psychic kung fu that they teach him. Like, dude, this is sick. Yeah, this is awesome. Lit. This is sick. But yeah, I mean, I'm just like stoked because I'm like, it's almost like an HD remake of like Mario Kart 64 for me at a certain level. Was it very similar? No, it's slower. It's way slower. And also, I'm not a huge fan of the director, because that's all this shit is just slow like that. Yeah, what else did he make? Like Blade Runner to me, I mean, I saw Sicario and that was good. Blade Runner 24. Yeah, but Blade Runner was too slow for me. Yeah, but I think Blade Runner is better. I think it works better with that, because the original Blade Runner is slow. Like that's true. I remember liking the original one more. Just all I wanted from the new Dune is I don't think there was that much like epic shit. It's like you don't need it to be fun.
I mean, the worms were pretty epic.
The worm was epic, yeah.
The giant ships are pretty epic. I love I'm a sucker for the aesthetic for it, where it's just like everything's kind of like drab and like brutalist, you know, and like it's the desert and there's like psychedelics. I'm like, this is so cool. It
looked good, but the moments I was waiting for, the moments of like
the characters are whatever.
The characters, but even the moments where somebody does something cool, like Oscar Isaac didn't say anything. He does the cool thing at the end.
Yeah.
But it's like, if all right, I don't want to. We haven't really done any spoilers.
No, not really.
But this is like maybe a spoiler. My point is, if you have a character that there's a certain point in the movie where you're supposed to feel something for him.
Yeah. And you don't.
You don't even need him to be like a great character, but just have him do something really cool before that.
Yeah.
So that you're like, oh, that cool guy died. Or like, oh, that cool guy did this. Or that cool guy, you know,
I think I know what you're talking about.
That's all you need.
I know what you're talking about.
And even
because with that guy, they're like, isn't he great? They just kind of like tell you he's great. Yeah,
he does a couple cool things, but have him do a badass thing. And so when something happens, you're like, oh, that guy that did the badass thing. I don't even remember his name, but I remember the thing he did.
Yes.
Or apparently in the book, Duncan Idaho is like super cool.
Yeah.
He's like the coolest, most badass character. And the movie's like, it's kind of whatever. Jason Momoa is kind of weird with a beard.
Yeah. I mean, he just kind of fights.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's almost like that weird relationship with like my best friend, and it's like, well, I don't know where.
There are 3 shots.
Yeah.
There's 3 times where
they just
Timothée
run up and hug.
and him and them run up and embrace each other.
Yeah.
That is their entire relationship is running up and embracing each other.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Look, it's not a great movie.
Yeah, I do understand the good parts about it. But it's disappointing me that it could have been so fucking cool. There's like cool stuff in it where I
think it's so hard. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I almost want to see what 2 and 3 are like. And like,
well, the Lord of the Rings thing was a good example for me where they did adapt everything, but maybe it's just the structure of those books where.
Well, but it was also one book at a time. This is one book split into 3 parts,
which you don't need to do. Or maybe you could split it into 2. I think 2 would be cool.
Just make one like 3-hour movie and make it awesome.
Or go, here's the story. The story is Paul meets these people and learns this.
Yeah.
And at the end of the movie, this crazy thing happens, and it's a little
Which
cap.
the more you break it down, it almost just sounds like Avatar. It's very similar to Avatar.
It's a lot of things. I mean, Dune inspired so much. Dune, you know, that's Star Wars. It's whatever came from Dune.
Yeah.
But it's like you take Lord of the Rings. This would be like if Lord of the Rings ended in fucking when they get to the tavern and meet Aragorn.
Yes.
It's like why would you end it there? You know, it's like that would be like at first I would have been like when the Fellowship comes together, but so much shit happens before the Fellowship gets together. Yeah. It's like, you know, if you're going to make a movie, you don't need I mean, you can adapt a lot of shit from the book, but you need a story.
Yeah, no, I totally see your point, but my dick got hard looking at it.
Yeah, no, that's the disappointing thing.
And there's also a nostalgia factor for me.
Yeah. I mean,
I get it, but I had a great time watching Dune.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's certain moments I liked, but I didn't have the nostalgia for it, and it just kind of made me want to read the book or make it a miniseries. You know, it's like if you want to adapt every little thing from the book, make it a miniseries.
Yeah, I mean, some cool shit happened with like where I don't even want to spoil it, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you've gotten this far, you've seen Dune.
Yeah,
you know, it's like
that's true.
That's kind of what we're banking on. Is that
okay? I'm just let's do a beat now.
Yeah, spoiler time. No, that's what people do in reviews. They go spoiler time.
Spoiler time.
Yeah.
What? Anyway, spoiler time. So the point is, when the other house, like Harkonnen or whatever, attacks, I thought that was pretty sick.
No, that was good. That should have been 30 minutes into the movie.
Was it not?
No, it was like fucking toward the end. I mean, it was like.
Was it really?
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't measuring it, but in terms of how it felt.
Oh, yeah, you're totally right. Because then they escape.
That should be Act 1.
No, you're totally right.
Yeah.
No, Act 1 and 2 are like, what is the planet Dune or whatever?
Here's everything
Arrakis.
about this political stuff that you can barely follow if you don't know about it before.
Yeah. I mean, there's certain things that just got my dick wet. Like, like it's so.
I'm glad you liked it.
There was like one scene like where I don't know. I just thought it was sick when there's all those people and they're doing like the deal to get Arrakis, and then they all chant Atreides. Yeah. And there's just like sea of people, and there's the cool looking black guy.
Good shots, yeah.
I was like, this looks awesome.
I think that was Benjamin Clementine, the singer.
I have no idea who that is.
He's like, you ever listen to that Gorilla song Hallelujah Money?
Nope.
He sings like Hallelujah Money. He has like a really weird voice. You probably like his shit. I just was surprised to see him.
He's like tall and thin.
Yeah, or he could just be some black guy, but he has got like really small
like, oh
ears.
shit, LeBron.
Yeah, I just know Benjamin Clementine has those tiny little ears.
He might. Well, I guess I think what I've come to is like I kind of agree plot wise, pretty dull first part.
Yeah,
but an aesthetic beaut.
It is beaut, yeah.
It's a beaut.
But that's my problem with that director. Well, and it made me appreciate Blade Runner a lot more.
Yeah.
Because I think Blade Runner is a little bit boring, but that to me felt like way more of a story than.
I was so bored by Blade Runner.
Yeah, but Blade Runner is a story with a character arc and like
they're finding Harrison Ford.
Yeah, he there's a mystery at the very beginning, and then you're like, all right, here's the goal.
Yeah, that's true.
And not every movie has to be. I think. It's what somebody said about it is it is like a kind of artsy movie. Dune is like a very artsy, expensive movie.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't need that. You know, I mean, like for something like Dune, I kind of want it to be epic and kind of cool.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need it to be that artsy.
Well, I guess where I get the epic cool thing is like lore. You know, like I like nerd out on it.
Which
I'm like, oh, the suits recycle your water, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
that's so sick.
I mean, that's the thing is maybe it just comes down to it's a movie where you watch it and then you just want to learn more about the book.
Yeah, that was kind of my main takeaway was like I was watching it and I was like, I wish I had imagined this while reading the book.
Yeah,
because it would be so much fun.
Yeah. It gives you a little picture.
Yeah, to have this imagery in my mind.
Yeah,
it's almost like I kind of ruined it because I'll think about the movie while I read it.
Yeah,
I wish I had like freelanced, what the ships look like and what Arrakis looks like.
After the Lord of the Rings book came out or the movie came out.
Yeah,
all of a sudden now you're thinking about Elijah Wood.
Yeah,
but
But in conclusion, Dune sucked. I changed my mind. You're right.
Yeah.
You have the film degree. I don't. So you're the little Wizard of Oz over here.
It's not that I didn't like it, but talking about it after, it's disappointing to me that like what it could have been.
Yeah, that's true.
And also just obvious things that I'm just like, why wasn't this cool? And then every comment just like, well, you didn't fucking write it. Oh, you think it would have been better if you wrote it?
You're like, yes, it would have.
I think it would have for me. Yes.
Yeah.
For me, I would have liked to have seen something that I was invested in, and where I like the characters and worried about what happened to them.
Yeah.
But it looks great and it sounds great, and I think people.
So sick.
I think how this conversation started is, to me, I'm just seeing so many people watch it and love it, and it really does seem like, yeah, it looks great. It sounds great. I agree.
Yeah.
But there's nothing there. I mean, it's like